Hi and welcome to another Dech Academy video. This question says, Sonny is twice as old as Walle. 4 years ago, he was 4 times as old as Walle. When will the sum of their ages be 66? So it's very important that I make it clear that the first sentence, which says Sonny is twice as old as Walle, means that Sonny's age is 2 times Walle's age. It doesn't mean that Sonny is 2 years older than Walle. So let's make that clear. The next sentence, 4 years ago, Sonny was 4 times as old as Walle. That means 4 years ago, Sonny's age then was 4 times that of Walle's age then. Now the question is, when will the sum of their ages be 66? So the way to approach this problem will be to proceed as follows. So let Sonny's age be S. So now let Sonny's age be S and let Walle's age be W. And let's do this. Let's first of all represent information given. So now we're told that Sonny's age is twice that of Walle's age. That means S. So that means now Sonny's age is twice that of Walle's age. 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, what was Sonny's age? Well, 4 years ago, so I'll call that S minus 4. Sonny's age 4 years ago. Think about it this way. Let's say you're 16 years of age now. 4 years ago, your age was 16 minus 4, 12. 4 years ago, you were 12 years old if you're 16 now. So similarly, for Walle, 4 years ago, his age was W minus 4. And the question says that 4 years ago, Sonny's age was 4 times that of Walle's age. You can simplify this expression to give the following: S minus 4. If you expand the right hand side, you have 4 times W minus 4 times 4, which is 16. If you simplify this, so if you add 4 to both sides, for instance, you have S is equal to 4 minus 12. This I'll call equation 2 because that's the second sentence that was given in question. The first sentence said that Sonny's age is now twice that of Walle's age now. So that's equation 1. So I'm just going to write them together. Just here. So these are 2 equations we're basically given in the question. Now, as you can see, this problem is probably for some of you, it's looking like a simultaneous equation problem. You have 2 equations, you have 2 variables. But just keep that in mind, that so actually cancel the last part. Now we have 2 equations here, and we can easily solve these 2 equations simultaneously. And I'm sure you've learned about the method of substitution and the method of elimination. I'm going to use the method of substitution here. From equation 1, you can see that S is 2 times W. If I substitute equation 1 into equation 2, what do I get? What do I do anyway? From equation 1, I can see that S is 2W. That means in equation 2, I will replace S with 2W. So you look at equation 2 here. S here, I'll replace 2W. Here, we have 4W and minus 12 remains. So why do you substitute? Well, what you do, the aim of substitution is to have an equation that only involves one variable, which is what we have here. The equation we obtained only involves W. And the reason why that is done is because when you have one equation and one variable, you can easily solve for that variable. So as you can see here, if I simplify this equation, which would involve, I'll add 12 to both sides. I'm going to simplify this equation by adding 12 to both sides. Which gives if you simplify, you get 2w plus 12 equals 4w, because this goes to 0. And then if I subtract 2w from both sides, I get 12 4w minus 2w, it gives 12 equals 2w. And if I divide both sides by 2, so I can have, or if I write this expression as follows, first of all, notice that you have 12 equals to 2w, which is the same thing as saying 2w is equal to 12. You just swap the left hand side and right hand side. That changes nothing. It's just an equation and you're just restating it in a different way. Now, to find w, how do you proceed? Well, you divide both sides by 2. Which when you do, you get 1, 3 here, 6. So you get that w is 6. So just keep that in mind, that w is 6. And if you go back to any of the equations we had, so go back to equation 1 for instance, you can see that s is 2w. From equation 1, because now that we have w, we want to find s. From equation 1, s is 2w. Therefore, s is 2 times 6, because we now know that w is 6, which means that s is 12. So what we've done so far is determine that Sonny's age now is 12. Sonny's 12 years old, and that Wale's age now is 6. And that is what we've achieved with the information given. Now, if you go to the question, the last sentence, it says, when will the sum of their ages be 66? It's asking for, that question is basically saying, how many years from now will their ages add up to 66? So to say, in X years time, let their ages add up to 66. In X years time, Sonny's age is going to be S plus X in X years time. So think of it this way. If you're 16 years now, in 2 years time, you'll be 18. So you do 16 plus 2. So in X years time, if you're S years of age now, in X years time, you'll be S plus X years old. And Wale's age as well will be W plus X. And we're saying that in X years time, the ages will add up to 66. But we know that S is 12. So we replace S with 12. And we know that W is 6, so replace W is 6. So all we need to do is find X. Now, as you can see, we have one equation and one variable. And that means you can find the variable. So let's simplify. 12 plus X. By dropping the brackets, you get 12 plus X plus 6 plus X equals 66. Simplify, you get 18 plus 2X equals 66. If I subtract 18 from both sides, you get 2X equals to 66 minus 18, which gives 48. So that X is 48 divided by 2, which is equal to 24. That means that in X years time, in 24 years time, their ages will add up to 66. So let me just clarify that. I said, let it be that in X years time, Sonny and Wale's ages will add up to 66. Now, in X years time, if Sonny is S years of age now, or let's look at it this way. If Sonny is 12 years of age now, in X years time, his age will be 12 plus X. Wale is 6 years of age now. In X years time, his age is 6 plus X. And the question asked, when will their ages add up to 66? So what you do is say, well, Wale's age in X years time plus, no, Sonny's age in X years time plus Wale's age in X years time is equal to 66 when X is some value. So you have an equation and you find the X value that satisfies that equation. And that X value is the value that gives you a situation where the age is add up to 66. So if you want to test it, we can move to the right here and note that in X years time, so in 24 years time, what's Sonny's age? Well, his age would be 12 plus 24, which is 36 years. In Walec's case, his age in 24 years time will be 6 plus 24, which is 30. Now, if you add their ages up, you see that it gives you 66 years. I think one thing I need to mention is that in the exam, you need to write your unit. So I intentionally actually left the units blank here so I can make that point. X years, 24 years, because we're talking about time. So in the exam, you obviously write years, or who knows, they might even accept this. But while you're working out stuff, you don't have to write the units. But in your final answer, you must use units.